Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel GMB SHOW. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Richard Madeley has previously disclosed that co-hosting live TV with his wife Judy Finnegan was a remedy for their marital spats. In the debut episode of Chloe Madeley, A Family Affair on ITVX, the Good Morning Britain anchor opened up to his daughter about his and Judy's 35-year union. When asked whether it was hard to be married and work closely with the same person daily, Richard's response was straightforward. Well, sometimes you'd have a row, and you'd get to work not talking, he confessed. But the show was a cure. He elaborated, it wasn't like false. You actually did genuinely have to come on and do the double act. You would find that within maybe 15-20 minutes of going on air. Chloe interjected. The ice thawed, leading Richard to add, "You'd just forgotten all about it, because you were both focusing on the job. And so it was a very good way of processing a row." Narinder Kaur takes aim at Ryland over migration comments. Richard has been married to Judy Finnegan since 1986, and they've starred together on several programs, such as This Morning and Richard and Judy. Richard's daughter, Chloe, recently issued a warning to parents after her toddler suffered a horror blood incident. The mom of one experienced panic when her 2-year-old endured a painful injury when she got her tongue stuck in an ice cream fridge. She has now sent out an urgent warning to moms and other parents and said that her toddler Bodhi almost recreated the moment in the 1994 comedy classic Dumb and Dumber. Taking to social media, she wrote a lengthy statement on her Instagram story detailing the gruesome ordeal. Bodhi pulled a Dumb and Dumber and got her tongue stuck on an ice cream fridge today, she penned. She pulled away and ripped a very small amount of skin off, but oh my lord, the amount of blood was truly astonishing. Just writing this post as a hopeful reminder to all parents before ice cream season hits. Chloe added, "The mouth bleeds a lot, even when it's a tiny surface wound. You need to apply pressure for up to 10 minutes before assessing if the bleeding is slowing down, whether you need to go to A&E. The reason I'm writing this is not because I know better, but because I completely forgot all the above and instead just went into a sort of panic mode. Sorry to anyone at David Lloyd who witnessed this. I'd love to pretend this kind of thing rarely happens, but that would be a lie, and my child is insane." The sun spilled gently through the studio windows of This Morning, catching Richard Madeley's tie in a shimmer of gold as he leaned back in his chair. Cameras were off now, the bright chaos of live television replaced by the quiet hum of crew members packing away cables and set pieces. Beside him, Judy Finnegan closed her notebook, her soft smile lingering as though it carried years of unspoken memories. It had been 3 decades since Richard and Judy first sat side by side in front of millions, their easy banter and natural chemistry making them one of Britain's most beloved television couples. Yet few truly knew how much the show itself had shaped and saved their marriage. "People think presenting This Morning was just a job for us," Richard began, in an interview years later, his voice tinged with gratitude. "But truthfully, it was the glue that held us together when everything else seemed ready to fall apart. Back in the 90s, when the lights went out at home and the world wasn't watching, life wasn't always the picture-perfect romance audiences assumed. They were raising children, juggling hectic schedules, and trying to keep their own relationship afloat under the pressure of fame. Arguments bubbled, misunderstandings lingered. There were moments when both wondered if the strain would eventually pull them apart. But every morning, without fail, they would walk into the Granada studios hand in hand, faces lit with makeup and scripts in tow, ready to host a show that demanded warmth, unity, and connection. And somehow, that daily ritual began to stitch the frayed edges of their marriage back together. "When you've had a row at home," Judy once admitted with a laugh, "and suddenly you're sitting on a sofa interviewing a celebrity about their latest book, you have to put your differences aside. The audience could always tell if something was wrong between us, so we learned to forgive, to soften, to laugh again. This Morning forced us to remember why we worked as a team. There were days when a shared glance on camera was enough to remind them of the love beneath the disagreements. Times when laughter, real, uncontrollable laughter, spilled over during live television, dissolving whatever tension had lingered from the night before. By the time the show's theme music played out each afternoon, they weren't just colleagues or presenters. They were partners who had found their way back to each other through the alchemy of live broadcasting. Now, reflecting on their years together, Richard says with certainty, "This morning didn't just give us a career. It saved us. It made us stronger, and I'll always be grateful for that." Judy, sitting beside him as she always had, reached for his hand. The cameras might not have been rolling anymore, but the story was still unfolding, one of endurance, resilience, and a love that had survived the test of time, with a little help from morning television.